All right, third graders, we are now ready for work on the curves. So remember, we were working on lines and loops. So if you flip your paper over or you turn the page, if you kept it connected to the packet, you'll see the curves page. Now remember, if you are right-handed, you're going to slant your page a little bit this way. So you're ready to work and write. If you're left-handed, you're going to slant this way, helping with that slight slant to your work. I'm left-handed, so I'm going to have my paper slanted this way. As we work on our curves today, you're going to notice on these first ones that we're not actually starting right at a line like we did with our lines and loops. So listen carefully to what I'm saying. You want to make sure you're getting those hooks in very carefully. So, starting right here, watching one first, please. We are starting near the top line, curving to the baseline, kick out tail. I don't think I'm going to be able to fit one in there, so I'm going to go right to tracing the next one. Starting near the top line, curving around to the baseline, kick out tail. Feel free, join me on this next one. Starting near the top line, curving around the baseline, kick out tail. All right, ready to try one? Starting near the top line, curving to the baseline, kick out tail. Ooh, notice, guys, I didn't quite touch the top line on that one. And so I want to be really careful on that. Starting near the top line, curving to the baseline, kick out tail. Starting near the top line, curving to the baseline, kick out tail. Starting near the top line, curving to the baseline, kick out tail. So the reason you want to really make sure, scholars, you're starting near the top line, if you start at the top line and you curve around, you get something like that. Right? You're not getting quite the hook at the beginning that you should. So this is not a good example right here. Right? Starting near the top line, curve to the baseline, kick out tail. Starting near the top line, curving to the baseline, kick out tail. All right. Let's go to the next one. So this time we're doing a very similar thing, but we're just working at the middle dotted line. Starting near the middle line, we're going to trace first. Starting near the middle line, curving to the baseline, kick out tail. I think there's room for me to try one here. Right, starting near the middle line, curve to the baseline, kick out tail. I'm going to trace one. Starting near the middle line, curve to the baseline, kick out tail. Starting near the middle line, curving to the baseline, kick out tail. Let's do this next one together, tracing. Starting near the middle line, curving to the baseline, kick out tail. Ready to try our first one? Maybe you've tried when I was trying. That's all right. Starting near the middle line, curving to the baseline, kick out tail. Starting near the middle line, curving to the baseline, kick out tail. Starting near the middle line, curving to the baseline, kick out tail. Remember, you want to try at least 6 of those, scholars, and you may find you have room for more than that. So go ahead and practice those. The key, again, on what we've done so far on this side, make sure you're getting that hook at the beginning and that kick out at the end. All right, let's try the next one. If you're still practicing and need to pause for a moment, that's okay. Then just hit play when you're ready to continue. This next one, we're starting at the baseline, and we're going to curve up and over, then swing back to do the kick-out tail. So starting at the baseline, up and over, then swing back, kick-out tail. Watch me do that again with this trace. Starting at the baseline, up and over, swing back, baseline, kick-out tail. Starting at the baseline, swing up and over, back around to the baseline, kick-out tail. Let's try a trace together. Ready? Starting at the baseline, up and over, swing back, baseline, kick-out tail. All right, we're going to try one. Remember, trying your best. Starting at the baseline, up and over, swing back, baseline, kick-out tail. How'd you do? So scholars, we're trying 6 more of those. You can work ahead of me if you want to finish this line, or you can follow along with me. Starting at the baseline, up and over, swing back, baseline, kick-out tail. Starting at the baseline, swing up and over, swing back, baseline, kick-out. Starting at the baseline, up and over, swing back, baseline, kick-out tail. Starting at the baseline, up and over, swing back, baseline, kick-out tail. Starting at the baseline, up and over, swing back, baseline, kick-out tail. How are you doing, scholars? Maybe stop and take a look at your work. 2 key things to check. Are you touching the middle dotted line? Are you touching the baseline? How's your up and over look, right? Do you see a little point there, a little hook? You want to make sure you're getting that little hook. Now for these next ones, writers, it's very easy to just look at it and think, oh, I'm just going to make a squiggly. But there's more to it than that. So I want you to set your pencil down, and I'm going to walk you through this next one. Watch me before you pick up your pencil. Right? I'm starting at the baseline, slant up, drop down. 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 Slant up. Sorry, that'd be more of a kick-out tail, wouldn't it? So you want to be careful, scholars, because we don't want you to just pick up your pencil and quickly go, oh, I'm finished. Not what this is. Right? Remember, cursive is something that we're working on appreciating its beauty. So it's not a quick, sloppy, I'm finished. It's a beautiful thing you're working on. So starting at the baseline, slant up, drop down. And we're curving, right? Slant up, drop down. Curving, 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 slant up. Oops, that should be my kick-out tail. So I'm going to erase that just a little bit. That would be my kick-out tail. Let's try one more of those. Starting at the baseline, slant up, drop down. Curving, 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 slant up, drop down, kick out. That's probably going to take us a little bit more practice, but you get the idea, right? Of touching that middle dotted line, and the baseline as you're curving and dropping. So now we're going to do a similar thing, but we're going to kind of break it apart. So let's trace, watch me trace one first. So baseline, slant up, drop down, slant up. Watch again. Starting at the baseline, slant up, drop down, slant up. Let's trace this next one together. Here we go. Pencils up. We're tracing. We're at the baseline. Slant up, drop down, slant up. Let's try that. Starting at the baseline. Slant up, drop down, slant up. Starting at the baseline. Slant up, drop down, slant up. Starting at the baseline. Slant up, drop down, slant up. Slant up, drop down, slant up. Slant up, drop down, slant up. One more. Remember, we want to do at least 6 on a line. Slant up, drop down, slant up. Good. All right, our next one. If you're still practicing that and need a couple moments, just press pause, finish that line, and then press play when you're ready to continue. So our next one, scholars, we're starting at the baseline. We're going to go up. Think of it as a camel with many humps, right? Hump, 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 kick out. Right, so really what we're practicing on these next lines, scholars, is that camel hump that's touching the middle dotted line. So be sure you're touching that middle dotted line and then coming down to the base line on each of those. So here we go. Starting at the baseline. Up to the middle dotted line. Hump, 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 kick out. I'm not sure I did enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8. Oh, I did. If you just did 6 or you accidentally did 12, it's okay, right? The idea is that we're practicing those camel humps. Let's try one more set. Here we go. Starting at the baseline. Hump, 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 kick out. Now look back at your work. Did you touch camel humps to the middle dotted line? How about the baseline? Did you get all those on the baseline? Okay, so now scholars are putting 2 curves and 2 humps together. A curve and 2 humps together. Let's trace one first. So watch me. Starting at the baseline, scholars, I don't actually like these little hooks they have at the beginning. We wouldn't really need those. So I'm starting just at the baseline. Right? Up and over. Swing back. Baseline. Up. Hump. Hump. Kick out. All right, join me for the next trace. Are you ready? Starting at the baseline. Ready with your pencil? Let's trace. Slant up and over. Swing back. Baseline. Hump. Hump. Kick out. All right, we're going to try at least 2 of these. Here we go. Starting at the baseline. Up and over. Swing back. Baseline. Hump. Hump. Kick out. Starting at the baseline. Up and over. Swing back. Baseline. Hump. Hump. Kick out. I'm going to fit one more in because I see I have a little extra space and I like to practice my beautiful work. And remember, we want to practice doing beautiful work. Starting at the baseline, up and over, swing back, baseline, hump, hump, kick out. And then our last one. So scholars, we're doing hump, hump, then kind of a kick out to hump, hump, hump. So it's like a 2-hump camel walking behind a 3-hump camel, or in front of a 3-hump camel. Either way, they could be going this way or that way, I suppose. Watch me do the first one. Again, I don't like this little hook at the beginning, so it shouldn't be there. We're just starting at the baseline with our kind of our lead in, it's called. Okay, ready? Hump, hump, kick out, hump, 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 kick out. So do you see how that's different than this, right? If we just went down and came back up, right, we need the kick out, so it looks like 2 separate things and not just a whole run of them like up here. Let's try this next one together. Pencils up, starting at the baseline, let's trace. Hump, hump, kick out, hump, 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 kick out. All right, we're going to try. Here we go. Starting at that baseline. Hump, hump, kick out, hump, 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 kick out. All right, here we go. One more. Starting at the baseline. Hump, hump, kick out, hump, 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 kick out. Nice. Scholars, your teachers are looking very forward to seeing your work. So remember, you want to also now take a picture of your curve side. So you should be submitting 2 things today. You should be submitting a photo of lines and loops and a photo of curves. So there's 2 sides. Make sure you submit a photo of both sides. Thanks for your work on cursive. We'll start our letters next Friday. Enjoy the weekend.